Hey guys, I want to put another video out there. There is a news report of a preacher who was preaching against abortion, and he was preaching outside of the Riverside School that's in Milwaukee. Now I know where that school is. I always had to go past it on my way to UWM, which is where I graduated from. Riverside is known to be one of the more higher achieving schools for Milwaukee's public schools. Now that's not really saying a lot when you look at Milwaukee's education levels. Rufus King is known as to be the number one public school. But when you look at the Riverside, what had happened was this preacher was talking about abortion, and I will put a link to the story. There's also more links to a guy his name is Dan O'Donnell, and he put some descriptions and some stories up, and he has links to the videos about what happened. The pastor was wearing a body cam when it happened, and if you actually listen to the video itself is instructive about a couple things, and I want to make a couple points. Number one is this. There is a growing sentiment in society that you should beat up people if you don't like what they say, right? And you need to understand where that's going, right? That's going to shut up people who have a more traditional view, a Christian view, a more moralistic view, believe in absolutes. People like us are going to eventually try to be shut down. And we had to be willing to take that beating. So that's the first point. The second point is you can actually hear him. He had descriptions and pictures of aborted babies. And somebody went up there and said, that's not how abortion looks. That's a baby. Well, fool, that is what an abortion is. An abortion is killing a baby. Now, some people who watching this ain't gonna like that. Well, screw you. I don't care that you support killing a baby. So here's the thing. When it comes down to it, a lot of you do not like to see the images of what you believe in. So when you kill a baby, you think that is nothing. And you think that since you can substitute the word fetus in for baby, and your feelings are not as hurt by hearing that a fetus got aborted than a baby got killed, that you have changed what has actually happened. And the action of what has happened is extremely violent and extremely brutal. We wouldn't kill criminals the way that we abort babies. And when you look at this is an issue that almost everybody not almost everybody should be able to stand on and say, this is wrong, it should stop. Abortion is wrong. The killing of babies is wrong. Now, some people might say I'm an extremist about that because I don't believe there's an occasion for an abortion that it should ever be right. But here's the thing. When you brutally kill a baby like that, all you have to do is look at a description of what an abortion does. And here's another thing. All you need to do is be an expectant parent. Look at the images of the baby in the womb. Tell me that's not a human being. Tell me that that person doesn't belong to exist and live. Some people might say it's not viable, but here's the thing. No baby is viable. You know, I've been a parent for over 7 years now. And I can't tell you how many times my kids have done things that have convinced me that they are not viable. They seem like they go out of their way to get themselves injured and almost killed on a regular basis. They're not viable. They can't survive on their own. And that's the role of parents. That's actually part of the joy of being a parent. People downplay this too much, but it is something that is beautiful about being needed, right? And that's why some people can't let go of their kids. That's a whole nother issue. But it is a beautiful thing to be needed and to know that other people are relying on you to be a good person for them to be good people. And here I am, I'm raising these kids, and I have their lives in my hand. How I react to them, how I treat to them is going to form the rest of their life. And so some people, that's a heavy burden. If you feel that that's too heavy for you, don't be a parent. Don't have sex. But most of us are going to have that responsibility. And if you create a life, be a man, be a woman, and raise that life the way that you should. So this man went and spoke about abortion, and they didn't like that. Now, the third thing that happens is that he gets cracked in the head and stomped while he's down, and everybody watched it. And a lot of these people are some of these left-wing people, the same people that are critics of the Zeal brothers already. And these people watch that violence, and anywhere else they would say that they're anti-violence, but they watch that with approval. It reminded me of many ways of when Stephen was killed in the Bible, and it says Saul nodded in agreement. Because here's the thing. Evil people don't mind seeing good people be hurt. That's just the way it is. And these people are evil people. Anybody that can watch somebody be beaten just because they use their free speech rights to say something maybe you don't like, let's assume that the person is wrong. The fact that you feel pleasure in beating them shows that you are evil and you lack morality. And then the last thing that I want to say is this. That person will never be charged. The person who beat that preacher will never be charged as much as a cop who beat somebody who committed a crime. Now, why did I make that comparison? Because here's the thing. When somebody commits a crime, I could really see a lot of reasons why I would beat them. All of you guys have heard this too. You ever heard somebody say, man, if somebody try to break in my car, I'm going to beat the crap out of them. And we hear this all the time, and we don't shake our head. We don't say, oh, that's evil, because we understand that sentiment. So here you got a cop who sees this stuff every day, and every once in a while, one cop will lose control, and everybody wants to crucify that person. But then on the other hand, what we'll have somebody get beaten ruthlessly. And as they're beaten ruthlessly, that person will not be held under judgment or be criminalized for their behavior when their behavior is way worse in the grand scheme of things. So, hey, these kind of incidents to show where our society is going, it's not going in a good direction. And that's why I call on men and women everywhere to stand up, say your piece. Understand that when you say your piece, it's going to be a cost to pay. But pay that cost and keep on speaking your truth.